Hey, friends. I'm so grateful to be sitting here with you for episode 10. Can you believe that? Episode 10 already. I had planned something earlier, but honestly, life slowed me down this week and maybe possibly the week before. I've been under the weather a little bit and it put me behind. And I thought about in that time when I was kind of recuperating all the moments I felt unseen, when I was hurting and silent and scared, and how even in those moments, God saw me. And I knew I needed to come talk to you right now. Maybe somebody's listening today that needs to hear that too. I know it's happened to me many times, more times than I can actually count. So this one's for you. It's called What God Saw, Man Couldn't Silence. I remember when I was 9 years old and I was lying on the ground, bleeding, being shouted at, being told I was a mistake. Nobody loved me. Nobody needed me. I remember it being a cold day and I could feel the warm blood on my lips. I wanted to speak back, but I knew better. I had to take it. I had to endure it. I had to listen to more put downs because if I did speak, I would feel that sting of pain on some part of my body. So it was easier to just take the shouting and the name calling. I dare not shed a tear either because that was a trigger as well. But inside, I was screaming. I was crying. I was begging, pleading for this to be over. But those inner pleas could not be released. I wanted to run to my room and hide under the big heavy quilt that resided on my bed and felt like a safe space and be out of the way of all the people who I was told hated me and didn't want me. They saw a weak little girl. They said I was nothing. They made me believe I was disposable. But God saw me. He saw a little girl rising up as a warrior. He whispered, "You are my child." When I was 13, I sat in the summer heat, knowing my end was near at the hands of an abuser or the elements I had been left in. My long hair was literally wringing wet with sweat, no water, and the neighbors watching. The abuser was sure I would perish, and if not, the falsehood said about me would make me seem stupid and worthy of what he was doing to me. They saw a quiet, needy child. They said I was dramatic, a liar, a problem, a child in need of discipline because I couldn't work like a grown man. But God saw me. A child who knew the truth even when no one else would admit it. A girl who bore pain like a soldier. He called me his. Then, I remember when I was 17, I was a teenager trying to be rebellious, wanting so badly to be freed. I did speak out of turn on occasion, and it cost me. I ended up with bleeding welts on my skin, my mouth crushed with a belt buckle, and my ribs were broken. People knew. The abuser knew. This would be the silencer. They saw me walking on eggshells, quiet and obedient. But God saw a warrior practicing peace on a battlefield. Let me tell you something. I believe with my whole heart. God saw me when nobody else did. And you know what? He sees you too. I saw you when you curled up in that corner holding your breath so you wouldn't be heard. I saw you when you were told to smile when your heart was breaking. I saw you learning to be small so you wouldn't be a target. But I made you big, not in size, but in spirit. I gave you a voice. And every time they told you you weren't enough, I was whispering the truth louder than they could lie. You were enough. You were mine. And you still are. I want to give you some scripture that kind of resonated with me too. Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. He's with you every step of the way. He hears your muffled crying. He feels your hurt and despair. And when, actually, even, as hard as this is to say, when you're contemplating taking your life just to escape, He's there. He sees you get back up. He rejoices in your victories. And you might say, how do I know? Because He did it for me. I don't know what they saw when they looked at you. I don't know what names they gave you or what roles they forced you to play. But I do know this. God saw you, and He hasn't looked away. Even now, He sees every tear you tuck away and every victory you don't tell anybody about. He sees your courage, your resilience, and He still calls you His. I'm going to say that again. He still calls you His. I want you to take just a second and ask yourself, what did God see in me that I forgot to see in myself? And I'll be honest with you, I ask myself that still to this day. What did God see in me that I forgot to see in myself? Think about that this week. Take it in. Look at yourself through the eyes of God, not yourself, or not what they said or they made you feel like. Look at yourself as God would see you. It's a different view. It's a completely different view, and I'm learning with you. If this episode spoke to you today, would you share it with somebody who needs to hear it because they need to be seen or they need to be heard? You are not forgotten. You're not invisible, and you're not broken beyond repair. I promise you. You are seen and loved by a God who never missed one moment. I'll see you next week right here on Rain. And in case you haven't heard it lately, I love you and I understand.